Comment of the week there from Mick Beavers. Right now we might preview today's Peter Scott Memorial match at Lang Park. Should be a beauty. That's the one between Valleys and Souths. And our special guest on the program today is Wally Lewis. Well, how's that nose coming along? Another bump last week?
Yeah, well, she's been broken 5 weeks in a row now, and you know, they're running a bit of a betting ring down at Valleys for 6 on today. But Tom Dooley's done a pretty good job rebuilding it. I suppose you're going to have another go at the end of the year.
Any more of those and you could be a rival for Mark Harris.
Ollie, what do you reckon today? They've beaten you 21-11 last match. What happened that day?
Well, on that day, I thought myself that was South's last chance. If they didn't beat us that last time, I don't think they would have fired for the rest of the season. But they played great football on that day. You know, we were carrying a few injuries, but that's no excuse at all against you know, you're a first-grade side. And if you take the field, whether you're carrying injuries or not, you've got to beat them. They beat us on that day, played better football, and we've got to try and reverse the tables today.
Do you think they're the favourites on the basis of that win? Or do you feel as though it's an even money bet?
Well, I think just about being even money bet, except I'd say we'd be favourites because only on the fact that we've beaten them in the last year's grand final, and that'll be the only factor.
Well, what's the feeling down at Valleys about some of Bob McCarthy's statements during the week?
Well, as I said to David earlier, I would have played it directly opposite if I was McCarthy. I think he's fired our blokes up pretty well. But, you know, he knows his tactics. He's played for Australia, so, you know, you can't knock against him.
Well, the only time this season I thought when they did beat you that their forwards finished on top of you was, admittedly, you may not have been quite at full strength. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they finished, you know, by far on top of our forwards that day. We've sort of worked on a bit of a plan during the week. They took us apart up the middle, and that's just one place we've got to take them up, you know, stop them from coming in.
El McGuinness didn't play that day. I don't think he did in the second round.
He didn't.
Is he going to be a bit closer in today? He strays a bit wide occasionally, El, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, you know, we don't know how he's going to go. We're hoping he can go very well. He's been out for a few weeks, so he still might be a little bit lost, but we still hold a lot of confidence in Al. He's a very good footballer.
That last game you played, South, while you fellows, Valleys particularly, didn't hold the ball like you usually do. That safeness was missing, and you spilled the ball on innumerable occasions. I think that went against you too, do you feel, last game?
Yeah, I think we held the ball in the second half for one set of 6 tackles, and the next lot of tackles we held it for about 3, and that was the maximum we held it for the second half.
Which is not usually Valley style, is it?
No, that's right.
Well, of course, today you're coming into a final match, and I'd say the attitude's going to be there where certainly there's plenty of fire there, where the team will be G'd up for this one, as opposed to, say, an ordinary club match. Sometimes you might get a little bit complacent.
Yeah, we're after we don't really need the 2 points, I don't think, but we're still after the win, not so much the name of the game and the name of the trophy, but we're after the win more to establish ourselves as a superior side, you know. If we can beat South, I think we might have the wood on them. If we let them beat us, well, it's going to be hard for the rest of the year for us.
What about the two?
It's unbelievable, really.
That leads me to ask, Wally, how much of Valley's missing Mick Neal, or are they missing him?
We're missing Mick a little bit at the moment because he's fitted in with our pattern of play for nearly 3 years. When you get a guy in for that long, it's, you know, it's hard to replace. But Russell Klein's been in there for the last couple of weeks. He's still lacking a bit of experience in the first grade, but we've got a lot of confidence in him, and everybody's been giving him a bit of a hand, and I think that's what's really important, if everybody else can give him a hand in there.
Well, he certainly knows he's out there today, won't he? Up against a pretty good South's back line.
Valleys obviously have a lot of respect for South, Wally. You must think that at this stage they're the side you're most likely to meet in the grand final.
Yeah, I think we'll play South in the grand final as much as Bob McCarthy doesn't think we'll play them. I think...
I don't really think that he does think that way. I think he thinks that Valleys will probably be in the grand final. But what he did say the other day was that he was very impressed with Brothers' defence. And he said, don't be surprised if they do make the grand final. I don't think he...
Yeah, sorry, keep going. Finished?
Yes.
Good. I was going to ask Wall about the forwards. Are you taking them on in the forwards, or are you going to spin the ball? Now, you would have had this nutted out by now.
Well,
Depends
really
on
hard
the trend of the
game.
game.
It depends on how the game's going, I think. I think we've got to try and let our backs do the work. Our forwards are mainly concentrating on holding their forwards. It's popped up that they've busted us, you know, down the middle the last couple of games, which has been pretty obvious. And we've been working pretty hard along those lines to stop them from coming up the middle. And I think, you know, we will be able to hold them today. We've worked on it very hard, actually.
So that'll be a change of tactics from last match, won't it?
Yeah, actually, well, we've sort of had to revise our defensive pattern a hell of a lot.
Can you crack the Valleys, the South's back line, do you think? They've got a pretty powerful back line, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. whether we can crack it or not, you know, we'll know at about 4:30 this afternoon. But we just got to try. That's all we can do.
Right.
I think our back line's as strong